Yo, what's the deal with y'all boys, man? It's your boy Panic here. So in today's video, we'll be covering the fight between Dekker and the Red Ranger. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So before we get into the fight, I just gotta give you guys some context. Meet Dekker, who's in my opinion one of the coolest anti-heroes in Power Ranger history. He once was a human who ended up nearly losing his life in a fire, being cradled by his wife named Dahlia. Now the Nightlock King approached him and his wife and asked her would she like him to save him, and obviously being distraught, she ended up saying yes, and she ended up cursing her and Dekker. Now she has her own curse. She became a Nightlock named Dayu, and she remembers everything. But Dekker's curse is way worse in my opinion. Now being reborn, he's cursed as a Nightlock/human hybrid, desperately wandering the world with a blade named Uramasa, just out here fiending for its one great duel. So now let's watch the fight. So the episode begins with the Red Ranger getting ready for the fight with Dekker. There was a quick recap before this, but all you need to know is every other Ranger is about to go fight a random Nightlock, while the Red Ranger goes and fights Dekker. So let's skip to that part. So the first thing we see is Dekker staring off into the ocean, just waiting for his fate to arrive. This fight has been talked about since we first seen Dekker as a character, so now we're finally going to be able to see it. And before the fight even starts, Dekker begins by talking a little bit of shit towards Jayden, before Jayden responds by saying what makes you different from any other Nightlock, pretty much. And Dekker ultimately wanting his duel, he just transforms right then and there, which then the Red Ranger transforms, and then we have a commercial cut which leads to the most obvious change of footage I've ever seen. Like, it's not even funny. I genuinely do not know which is worse, the fact that I'm just now realizing this after like 12 years, or the fact that someone was editing and just said, yeah, that's perfect. But hey man, Power Rangers do go hard, and before you know it, the two start scrapping, and off of the first few swings, you can already tell this is about to be an all-time fight, as the Red Ranger pushes off of Dekker with his offhand and starts swinging, and the Red Ranger's honestly pushing the pace of the fight, consistently countering Dekker and making him back up, until he gets countered once and he runs off towards the water. And Dekker sees this like straight food. He's just chasing him, and he ends up swinging the momentum all his way after this leg kick, having the Red Ranger rolling in the water. Then after he gets up, he slashes him a couple times, and it's just like, damn, bro. Now we can't say the Red Ranger's a fraud because he was winning most of the fight up until this point, but I can't lie, Dekker definitely is on his ass, bro. This is terrible. And after the Red Ranger is able to get up and regain his composure, Dekker calls him his equal before they begin to run at each other, leading to about their third or fourth clash of the fight. And when their swords finally land, they begin going back and forth before the Red Ranger sword slides off of Dekker's, leading Dekker to get the cleanest hit of the fight up until this point, a slash on the Red Ranger's mask. And then the show cuts over to the other Rangers fighting a Nightlock, but we're not really here for that. But if you do want to see a video like that, do let me know. But the fight cuts back to Dekker and the Red Ranger on a mountain fighting, and the Red Ranger's honestly winning again. He does this cool jump dodge and then he falls back, before Dekker leaves hella time for him to roll out the way. And after the Red Ranger gets up again, he hits a spin move before he stares at Dekker for a little bit and then runs off towards the edge of the mountain. And after he runs to the edge, Dekker applies pressure, leading him to almost fall off the mountain before he pushes Dekker off for one last stand. And up until this point, the fight has seemed pretty equal. So the Red Ranger takes a step forward and strikes, leading you to think the fight might be over before he drops his sword to his offhand, slashing Dekker across his stomach, then going for seconds by slashing his sword in half, leaving it flying in the air, landing in the dirt. And just like any other villain, you would think Dekker would try to strike again, but nah, he just walks off the edge of the mountain, leaving the Red Ranger as the winner of the battle. My bad on the shorter upload. I definitely remember this fight being longer than usual, but then I rewatched the episode before making it, and it was really just a lot of runtime padding. Shout out to these people for recommending I do this video. I love making commentary videos also, so this is just fun to make. Thank you guys for 100 subscribers. It means a lot. The next goal is going to be 150. Let me know what I should do for a subscriber special video. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.
Get right, get money, for life. If you talk down, heat me the sight.